Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show, brought to you by Salvatore's Pizza. We're going to talk some boys volleyball here on a specialties hotline. Joining us now, the defending state champions from McQuaid. It's been a while since they actually won that state championship. We'll talk about the layoff here too. The head coach of the Knights, Dr. Christopher Parks, also senior libero Kyle Moyer, and outside hitter also senior Keeler Thomas. Guys, welcome to the show. Coach, let's start with you. How excited are these guys get a chance to defend something? It's not going to be a state title, but get a chance to get back on the court, Coach Parks.
It is an absolute blessing and gift. Personally, I think we could have pulled everything off in the fall if they allowed us to. I'll just throw that out there because many states did. Sectionals, regionals, and state titles. But we're thankful for what we've been given the opportunity to do. And I cannot be prouder of not only the two young gentlemen who are here via Zoom tonight, but the whole volleyball family, which is dialed in to pick up where we left off last year and represent our family as best as possible, as well as all the players who played before us and those that will come after us.
Kyle, your team is 3-0 right now, and you're actually coming to us live from Columbus, Ohio, where you will attend Ohio State University.
Well, the Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State. Yeah. So Coach mentioned the McQuaid volleyball family, and I know the phrase tradition never graduates is a phrase that's used quite frequently with the program. What is it like for you to be a part of a program that has so much tradition?
It means everything to me, you know. It's it brings all of the brothers that have been through the program, past and present now, and even the future coming in. It brings us all together in a bond that you can't get anywhere else. And it's just so special. And I've gotten that tradition never graduates even before I was a part of the volleyball program at McQuaid. I joined in freshman year through McQuaid, but even when I was there in 6th grade, when I started, I could feel the love. And it's just before I even knew the phrase tradition never graduates, I had it with me the whole time.
Keeler, this group of guys off to a good start, and you're not going to be able to defend a state title, but what do you like about this team, your strength coming off a state championship?
Like Kyle talked about, with this tradition never graduates, we have such a great bond together, and so many of us have been playing for all the years of our volleyball career together, and because of that, we're just that much stronger. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons we won the state title last year. And this year, even though there is no state title, we'll be able to hopefully defend the sectional title. And in many ways, that's just as competitive, if not more competitive than the state title, because there's so many more rivals local. And so the games will be much more intense and everyone will be hopefully in it with their heart.
Parks, when we were talking to set up the interview, you mentioned that this is not a typical McQuaid team because in a typical year, 5 starters will graduate and you'll have to find a new formula, a new lineup and everything. What is this team like having so many returning starters back from that 2019 team? And was that beneficial to you given some of the uncertainty that we all faced coming into whether there was going to be a season or not?
So thank you. Superb question. My first thing is just extreme gratitude of the fact that we get to play, because that looming question, very honestly, was heartbreaking to me of whether or not we would have a season. And if the answer was going to be no, we would have gone on retreat together as a volleyball family, but we wouldn't have been able to be in the gym. And that was something I don't know that I was ready or anybody else was ready to accept. So the good news is we did not have to accept that. The first and foremost, the credit would be to, as we refer to him, Coach Emeritus, Mr. Edward Waller, who's one of the founding fathers of Section 5 volleyball, with credit to Jack Hunter, Craig Mills, and Kyle Overslaw. He always told us, don't rebuild, reload. And that is a function of Coach Mark Tomey at the modified level, Coach Zach Gillard, Lindsay Schlegel, Andrew Solomon, Tony Taradas, Chris Swire, Zach Martin. I feel terribly. Oh, Coach O'Hara, Coach Whalen, all the folks at the JV level who just built the program. And perseverated the success that they built. And I think that put us into a situation where this year our focus is, hey, let's pick up where we left off. Let's honor those who played before us. Let's pave a way for those who will follow, set an example for the younger guys. I know that's a circuitous way to answer that question, but that's how we look at things. And my hope is for not only the 2 student athletes that you see tonight in the Zoom, but the others, that they are the worst at their position for anybody who comes after them, because that means they paid it forward to help those who are following them and looking up to them to be at their level or better. I guess that's how we look at it. And it's disappointing we don't have a regional or a state, but these guys are going to do everything that they can. They do it every day, and we're going to honor that, celebrate that. And at the end of the day, you know what we're going to do? We're going to celebrate together regardless of how the season turns out, because we're a family.
We are talking some McQuaid volleyball here. 5-time state champs here under Coach Parks, about 8 Section 5 titles, obviously set quite a high standard with some great competition here around you in Section 5. Kyle, let me ask you this question. I did a story back in 2015. It was for a feature called Coaches Who Care. And Coach Parks is one of my selections to win the award. And he said, this was his quote, "Kids don't care what you know until they know you care." How does he convey to you guys that he cares about you more than just what happens on the court every day?
I don't know a guy or a coach that ever in my history of playing sports that has cared as much as Coach Parks has towards this team. Back when I tore my ACL about a year ago in February, after my surgery, even before my surgery, he called me on the phone. I was actually out mowing. I was out mowing the lawn, and he called me just to send his prayers. And that's just who he is. He cares for everybody on the team individually and as a whole unit together. And I know he'll never let go of any of us. He'll always keep reaching out to us and see how we're doing, even after we graduate, because he just shows the most respect for us as we do for him. And it's just a true testament to how much he cares for us individually and us as a team together.
What do you love most about the sport of volleyball? Because it does contain so many skills, and it takes a special talent to play it, especially when volleyball is played well, like your team does.
One of the biggest things that I love about volleyball so much is the fact that you can't play volleyball well without a team. And the better the team works together, the more successful you are. So that's what I love most about sports in general, is that you're able to kind of overcome personal differences and things like that, and to come together as one unit to accomplish a specific goal. With our team in specific, because of the bond and the brotherhood that we have developed at school and at sports, we're already a step ahead of other schools that may not have that similar bond. And that's a big reason, I think, why we are able to push the limits and achieve so many state and sectional titles and things like that.
Coach Parks, earlier in this program, we mentioned a football team locally had to go on pause this week, and it's going to be coming out in the news. What do these guys do? What do you guys do to make sure you guys are all staying in check? Is that just policing each other? Is the coaching staff on these guys? How do you guys handle that?
This is going to sound very rudimentary. Our boys are rule followers and they want to be together. So we've had the luxury of being in school 5 days a week. So there are simple standards they're already used to. They fill out a daily health pass. You know, there was a reminder this morning we came into the gym and I just shouted out, guys, make sure you do your daily pass. They do their health checks. They wear masks. They stay distanced. And that's how they go through their normal days of school, which, again, we've been very blessed to be able to be in 5 days a week. And so it's not really anything different for them. And again, I would say ask them. because I'm the old guy saying what they're dealing with. I don't, I'm not them, but that's how they come to school. They wear masks, they stay distanced, they follow the rules, and they do what they know is expected of them. And you know what? Remove pandemic, ask me the same question, and I would still tell you they do what is expected of them, because that's their character, and their character runs deeper than any talent or any words that they can say or any playing that they can do. Their character is the deepest thing about them, and it's their true north. That's their guiding compass, and they're committed to doing what they know is right and what they know will put their volleyball family in a position to be able to be together, because none of us want to jeopardize that.
Coach pretty much gave us the serve right over the net. We're going to return it. How do you guys police yourselves and have that big picture outlook that that your decisions can impact more than yourself, especially in these times where if one person on the team tests positive, it could jeopardize the greater good for the whole team. How have you guys discussed that, and then how as leaders have you handled that and made it kind of the policy on the team?
Who wants that one? Kyle or Keeler?
I was going for Kyle.
Okay.
I can. So I would say we all want to play so badly that we'll do whatever is needed and whatever it takes to achieve that goal of playing. We didn't even think we were going to have a season a while back, or we weren't sure if a season was possible. So once we heard the news that we were going to have a season, we were all so excited. And just to be able to play again one more time, especially the seniors, kind of get a last run. So I would say we just kind of set it down as an unspoken ground rule of everybody wants to be here so badly, and everybody wants to play, that we'll do whatever it takes and whatever is needed to stay here.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys give great answers. We could talk for an hour.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Thibaut. Can I just, to add on to Kyle, Steve, to your earlier point about, the fact that this is the 1 year where we didn't graduate everybody. I think that also feeds into how committed these young gentlemen are about following those protocols and doing, to Kyle's point, whatever it takes, because there's such a returning core, which we have not had historically. Normally, most of the starters graduate every year. And this year is unusual in that fact, but I think it's also not just a benefit from an athletic standpoint, because let's face it, you're an injury away every day. So it's not about the athleticism, but it's about that commitment and that core group of senior leadership. We don't have captains this year. We have senior leaders. And, it's from that standpoint of they truly embrace leadership as it's not a position, it's them empowering everybody else. And it's a classic example of, if you're a true leader, turn around and see if anybody's following you. And I can guarantee you there's a whole team following these seniors this year because of the example and the commitment that they have. So I don't know if that's helpful perspective on top of it. I would prefer, though, if Kyle or Keeler have the last word.
Well, I'm going to have the last word, Coach. Sorry, because we're really long on the segment.
Okay.
It's fine. And I will say this, though. It's really great insight, because I remember saying this early on in the pandemic, that this virus doesn't really discriminate, right? It doesn't matter who you are, famous, rich, poor, doesn't matter. In a team, really, in its essence, this is really true now, is as strong as its weakest link. Because you have one weak link who doesn't do the right thing because of this pandemic, can wipe out the whole team. Now, we usually use that phrase when in terms of strength of the roster, right? But in this world we live in now, if your team is now strong throughout, that weak link can take the whole team down. So appreciate your insight, guys. We wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to be tough to beat, as always. McQuaid Volleyball Coach Parks, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you tonight.
And the K&K boys, Keeler and Kyle, thanks for being on.
Thank you for having us.
We'll take our next break. You're listening to the Ferris High School Sports Show, brought to you by Salvatore's Pizza.